Hey, so this is one day at a time, and my name is Vedyanand. And in this video, you'll be able to see how I go about learning about NFTs and all the resources that it took for me uh, to get to know about what exactly an NFT is. From scratch, I'm a beginner, by the way. I don't know anything about NFTs. However, I have invested a little bit in stocks in crypto, but about NFTs, I pretty much am starting up. And with respect to, and since I'm an Indian, in India recently Wazirex had started taking up NFTs, and I'll be going through the process for Wazirex as well as for international. So I'll try as much as I can to finish it before 24 hours. I'm going to give myself 24 hours to run the entire NFT process and create an NFT and hopefully proceed and upload it and sell it. So let's get started. Getting started, I'm going to give myself 1.5 hours, 90 minutes from now. I'll also be taking notes and as in when maybe after 1.5 hours, I'll be talking about what I have, what are my findings, and I'll be able to give you a brief idea about what exactly an NFT is and how to go about the process of selling an NFT, creating an NFT, and buying it. So be sure I've given myself ample amount of time to create the NFT. I have planned for 2 NFTs. One is a 2D digital art, and the second will be a 3D digital art. I might use some of the artworks that I have done before and maybe recreate it digitally, and so that it's an original piece, and I'll be able to create an NFT. Hopefully a GIF. I always wanted to try something, as a loop for the NFT, and we can start. Views on what exactly on the basics of NFTs in the last that I've understood in the last 9 years. So NFTs basically mean non-fungible token and are used to represent ownership on it is to represent ownership of a unique item. For example, like a house that you own, you have a if you own a house, you have a document, housing document, right? So or a pink slip, even the most wanted token. When you lose a pink slip, you basically pay for cars. Anything digitally that you want to own, want to have ownership on, you need to have an NFT. So it could be for artwork of yours, it could be for music work of yours, it could be anything digital. Also, examples of NFT can be like very from art, collectibles, etc. to real estate, digital real estate. And in the future, there will also be vending possible through NFTs. So that also can be done. Vending in the sense that you can take loans for NFTs. Like if you have an NFT, you can take a loan on that NFT. Based on the value of that particular NFT, they give you a loan, with which you can actually use that loan, use that money for buying physical products. Or, for example, if you want to have a house, you need a housing loan. Basically, the DeFi concept, decentralized finance, where you'll be able to take loans on digital assets. So your digital asset will be an NFT, which you will give as a security. And if you're not able to pay the loan, they'll capture the NFT and the ownership will be transferred. However, this is not possible as on date. I'm not sure if it's possible as on date, but there are a few blogs that talks about all of this. And there are three standards of NFTs. It's basically ERC 20, ERC 721, and ERC 1155. I have not covered the details of all these standards in this video. However, if you would like to know about these standards, do let me know in the comments below and I will talk about it maybe in the future video or reply to your comments. Link to the description also has the details about these standards. However, I don't think it is needed for this particular video. So moving on, the hot topics under NFT right now are in the gaming industry. There is a game called Decentraland, which is a VR-based game, meaning you have a VR headset and you'll be in the game and kind of like a real-time game, like GTA San Andreas. But since it's a little more complex because it's VR integration and all of that, so you'll be able to see all the low quality right now. But I think in future it has a lot of scope for growth and these NFTs. So in the gaming industry, how the NFTs are used is basically game developers create assets. Game developers or modelers or 3D asset designers, they create their assets and create NFTs for that, and they can upload it on websites like Rarible, or there are multiple other websites as well, where they can upload their 3D asset, which will be sold obviously, which can be used in games like Decentraland. Now, people who would be using it, if you would ask questions like that, then I would say like any gamer who wants to upgrade his assets, like for example, if you're playing Dota or if you're playing, if there are upgrades or pro versions for that game, if that's been sold, even in Among Us there is paid version, right? So all this can be done through NFTs. Can be done. You can upgrade your maps, you can download a map. All this can be done through crypto. You'll be paying amount of crypto and buying that particular asset. And when you are like, if suppose you don't want this asset in the future, this is the best part. If you don't want the asset in the future, you will be able to resell that asset, meaning you're getting your money back. You're selling it. You're probably even selling it for higher price. In this, the advantage for game developers that I mentioned earlier is basically there is a royalty fee that goes to the game developer. If suppose I have developed an asset for your game, for a particular game, and say I sell it for 10 ETH, 10 Ether, and suppose I create an entire huge map and it is being sold for 10 Ether, and a player buys that Ether and buys that particular map, like paying that particular amount of money, I get all the money, and they'll be able to, if there is, based on how there is a differentiation, if there's a percentage that has to go to the game, it goes to the game, and the rest comes to me. And the second thing is when that person is not using that particular map, he has the feature to sell it off. He can sell it off and make even more money, maybe make some profits out of it. And obviously, since there is a royalty, it goes to the developer. You can set like 10, 20, 30% of royalty that goes to the developer. Meaning the developer will be earning, the game developer will be earning money until and unless that particular thing is being sold and resold or stuff like that. And the best part about NFT is the scarcity can be decided by the owner. If game developer is the owner, he decides how many quantities will be out there. So if I say I make one particular unique map for your game, there will be only one map out there in the world which only you will have. That will be boring to play, but however I can make it limited. The idea is scarcity is about scarcity under the hands of the owner, and he'll be able to decide how much quantity is out there. So that's one more thing that I want to do. Moving on now, the term called minting, like there is called mining. Like mining happens in cryptocurrency. Similarly, there's a term called minting where there are two things that happen. First thing is an asset has to be created on your name. All these are numbers, your name meaning your unique ID. There will be a unique ID that will be created on your name. And then the second thing, the same has to be sent to the server. Server meaning the blockchain, entire blockchain, it has to be sent to the server, assuring to the network that this is an asset and this asset is under your name. So this is one thing is the creation part, and the second thing is updating the server so that the server does not block you from accessing your particular asset or selling it out. So these are the two main things that happen while minting the NFT, and this is done by your wallet, which in most cases is most people are using MetaMask, which I also will be using while I'm trying to sell my NFT. Not sure if I'll be able to, but that's what I'm going to be trying. The next part is going to be creating the NFT. So far what I've told is just basics of what I've understood about NFTs, and hopefully it will be good for you. And over the next few hours, there's approximately 20 hours left in the total time, and the digital art. I'll be doing a 2D. I'm trying to create my NFTs on Rarible. I have been trying to do it on Vazirex as well, but the problem with Vazirex is not a problem. It's their sort of way to enter the market. They're entering the market by filtering out the creator base. So what they're doing is there is a Google form where you have to fill in details. If you want to create an NFT in India through Vazirex, you will have to fill in the Google form first, which will have to be approved by the Vazirex team, and only after that you will be able to create an NFT in India through Vazirex. Which is I have filled that Google form, and they apparently go to the Instagram page or whatever page that we have linked, or a portfolio of the person that's linked, and they go through that and probably look at how consistently the person is posting or quality of work. Not very sure as to what exactly they're looking at it. If anybody from Vazirex team is looking at this, please do enlighten me on. So I've applied for it. If I get through within finishing the video, I'll obviously try and use Vazirex to do it. But if I'm not, I'll be using Rarible to do the same. So that's pretty much it for this section. You can enjoy the time lapse and with some music, and I will be back in the next section. That I did last year in October, and started to rebuild it in Illustrator and add a lot more details to it so that I could come up with something interesting. Initially I had no idea of what to be doing with the background and stuff like that, but I think as I went ahead I was able to sort of brainstorm and come up with some ideas on spot, and it was pretty cool. I spent around close to about 15-16 hours on it totally. I figured out we could maybe do something with basic 3 colors and get the background done at least. So that's actually hair on hands and stuff like that, but doesn't look like it. But in Illustrator I didn't know a better way to do it, so if somebody knows there's a better way, please do let me know. Enjoy the time lapse and the music. In the early part of the video, I mentioned that I'll be trying to do 2 artworks, but unfortunately I didn't find time to do both of them. Maybe there'll be a second part of this video where I'll be making a 3D NFT, hopefully. Let me know in the comments if that is something you would like to watch. A lot of my inspiration comes from hostel rooms that I used to live in. Obviously there was no rats, but I just wanted to, I thought why not, let's put a rat over there. Lockdown Rebound is a work that I did long back, which is also a t-shirt. I'll provide the link in the description if you want to look at the t-shirt. And like I mentioned, I wanted to make a GIF, so I'm just changing background colors in the background and some colors of that monitor display, and moved all over to Photoshop, and I used it to create a GIF. WazirX, I couldn't create the NFT on WazirX because they didn't approve the application that I sent, so I had to create it on Rarible, and I used Coinbase wallet to connect it to my account, and then I sort of like gave the description for the NFT and then created the NFT. For creating the NFT, like I mentioned earlier, there is a minting fee. It varies from time to time. I got it close to around $10, $10 to $14. It was varying at that time, since I tried it like 2 or 3 times because I didn't have money fed in my wallet, so that took some time. And once I did that, so to add money to your wallet, if it is Coinbase, you need to transfer crypto through a different provider. Like if you're using WazirX, you can transfer it through WazirX. I used WazirX, but the transaction fee was a lot, so I almost ended up spending more than half of my transaction into the transaction fee itself. So do compare other apps and then use the one that has least transaction fee to transfer it to your wallet. Indian regulations does not support international wallets yet, so we can't really upload INR directly into these wallets. So that's one thing. And after doing that, after I linked it, it was pretty smooth. There is like there is a PIN that is required for every transaction, just like we use MPIN to even check our bank account balance in UPI apps. Similarly, there is a PIN or a request that gets generated every time you want to take any action on Rarible platform. Like even if you want to follow a particular artist or like a particular art or NFT, in that case there will be a request that will be raised for the transaction, and then you need to give a 6-digit PIN to process that request or approve that request from your phone. So that's the thing. That is, at least with Coinbase, this is how it works. Maybe it is slightly different with the other wallets, but this is what it is. after creating the NFT, you'll be able to keep it on sale. Initially, when I did it, it came as not for sale, and then I had to sort of like fix a few things and then click on for sale. And whoever is using Rarible, there is also a way to get the verified badge on your account. So there will be sort of like an application for that. You'll have to, after setting up your entire account, like you have to set a display picture, you'll have to set up a cover image, you'll have to set up a name and description for your account and stuff like that. Once you do it, you'll be able to apply for the verified badge, and they'll approve it like in few hours. And if it is rejected, you'll get a mail saying that this is why this thing is rejected, so please correct this particular thing, and you'll be able to reapply. Pretty cool stuff. While minting the NFT, it took a lot of time for me. I used the lower version, so it costed me only for like $6 or something. It'll be slow, and I have seen a lot of blogs about this, and it seems like many people have a problem while choosing that, and it is taking a lot of time for them to process the minting part, and at times even people just give up and go away. I mean, like, just go back, due to which they will lose money. So just don't give up like that. Just wait for a while. It'll take close to 10 to 15 minutes to set up. Thanks for watching the video. Consider subscribing and clicking on bell icon to get notified for other cool stuff that is coming up. Until that time, bye bye then.